Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Maniac B8, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace the coolant reservoir on a 2009 through 2011 Audi S5 4.2 liter V8. The tools that you're going to need are going to be on the screen. I also recommend some gloves and a pan to catch all the coolant if you're going to be draining it from the radiator. With that said, let's get this going. And a little small heads up, this video is shot vertically because I wasn't paying attention to how I was recording with my phone. So sorry about that. Future videos with tutorials will not be shot vertically, so it should be all good. Anyways, let's jump into this shit. So this reservoir got all nasty because of an oil separator failure, so we're going to swap it out. That's why it's all green. It's nasty. So we got our new one. We're ready to go. Let's get this one knocked out. I won't be draining coolant from my radiator because my current reservoir is almost empty and it's full of distilled water. I'm not running actual antifreeze on the system at the moment because I'm tracing leaks. So we're going to mess with those two hoses, get those two bolts off, then we'll move down and get that hose and a sensor underneath. And that's it. That's all you need to pull this off. If you're going to be doing any kind of draining, you're going to want to watch a separate video for that. So let's move into it. So you'll need your flathead. You're going to pry up these little clips on this hose. You see, you just squeeze it in there and you'll hear it click. Good to go. Get that one. Good to go. And then they just pull right off. You might need a little bit of force. As you can see, this one's kind of stuck on there, so you just kind of wiggle it back. Boop, off. And if your reservoir is empty, you don't have to worry about coolant pumping out of these. Yeah, so you just set them off to the side. And then we're gonna break open the 10 mils. So that we can lift this up. So I used a ratchet. I mean, you could just have a screwdriver set that has a 10 mil socket on it as well as a flathead attachment. That makes it easier carrying tools. But break these loose. Pretty simple. And once those are loose, you'll be able to lift up the coolant reservoir and access the sensor. And that way you can pull off the final hose and let it drain. So now that we've got that all loosened up, we can lift up on the reservoir and see the sensor at the bottom and the hose. We're just going to pull the sensor and do the same thing with the bottom hose that we did with the top with the little clip, and then pull on it. It's going to be a little more forceful, but so I did not film myself doing it. This is what it'll look like removed and fully drained. Now we get to start the process of putting the new one on. And that process begins with taking the rubber grommet off of the old and putting it onto the new. It's the only part that needs to be transferred. Once that's done, you're ready to seat it. I recommend putting in the sensor first, then placing it inside of the hole with the grommet and lining up the screw holes. Using that stability to put on the bottom hose will make it a lot easier. Once that's done, it's as simple as attaching the top hoses and screws. I only have one hand to record, like I said, so I had to do all that off camera, but this is what it looks like once it's back on. It's just as simple as going in reverse of what you did to take it apart. Just gonna go ahead and attach all the hoses, get it all in place, make sure it's all clipped down. You know, and always double check your work. You'll see in this video that I put on the front top hose and I didn't put it on all the way, and when I test drove, I ended up popping the hose and spraying water everywhere. It's a good time, so always double check your work, even if it feels like it goes on. And now that that's all done, the last thing to do is to take the cap off and start adding coolant, or in my case, it's distilled water. You're going to fill it up multiple times, especially if you drain from the radiator. It's going to take quite a bit. So what you do is you fill it up and you just watch the line. You'll watch as the water slowly trickles down, and as it gets to the bottom, just fill it back up, watch it go until you reach the min line and it stays. Then you'll top it up to max and you'll be good to give it a start. There is a proper procedure for bleeding these cars' cooling system via a heater core pipe in the back by the firewall, but that'll be a video for another time if you guys want it. As far as this goes, it's good. You'll see some smoke coming out from where I had water draining out. It's just the engine burning off some smoke from the water. Nothing to be worried about. Other than that, I mean, it's good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.